of family self-defense. Oh, God!
Pervert the kid!
My baby! Hold on! No! My baby!
Today on X-Play, we remembered that the Wii launched with more games than just Wii Sports. Look it up. And Gran Turismo 7 makes a triumphant return to the track. Strap on your helmet and drive like gas isn't $7 a gallon. Hey, that's almost as much as you'll spend on a car that's already on the game disc. It's game time.
Hello and welcome to X-Play. It's been over a year since the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S hit the market, and we're now just getting a solid stockpile of next-gen exclusive games.
And for all the griping about console shortages and crying, "Where are the games, Ed?" These are not new phenomenons.
When the Nintendo Wii launched in 2006, it was impossible to find one unless you were a maniac like me who stood in line for hours at launch.
And if you were lucky enough to snag a Wii, the available games were a mixed bag.
So how does the Wii launch lineup stack up against Bugsnax?
We break it down in this next segment. Check it out.
With all the fuss over PS5 and Xbox shortages, don't you miss the days when consoles were easy to buy? When you could just walk into a store and walk out with the game box of your heart's desire? Surely, people weren't also waiting overnight in long lines, say, 15 years ago for a console like the Nintendo Wii, right? Wrong. That's exactly what people were doing then. But instead of waiting in an online queue just to be sold out by scalpers before you can even input your credit card information, people waited outside in the November cold for hours just to get their hands on the little motion-controlled machine. And just like with the PS5 launch, and those who didn't get their hands on a Wii on release day, often they had to wait months before they became available again. But before we go too deep into the launch and legacy of the Wii, let's set the stage a little. Welcome to November 2006. The first iPhone has yet to be released. The world is still reeling after the tragic loss of Steve Irwin, and we just saw the sentencing of the employees of Enron. In many ways, the world was just as messed up as it is today. It was just harder to text your friends about it. Looking back at the Wii launch, things were mostly the same. The excitement over possible new technological advancements in gaming was at an all-time high. There were disappointing shortages of consoles, and I still worked at X-Play. Really, the only difference now is a little less hair on my head and a little more hair on my Now, outside of just trying to get your hands on one, what was the anticipation for the Wii actually like? People were definitely excited for it, but a lot of us also didn't really know what to make of it. On paper, the Wii was an underpowered console compared to the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. The motion controls were an exciting prospect, but in many ways they also felt like a gimmick. No matter the technological advances, or lack thereof, a console is only as good as its game lineup. What do the Wii's launch titles ultimately say about the Wii itself? One of the most highly anticipated games to come out on the Wii was Zelda Twilight Princess. Well, in actuality, it was one of the most highly anticipated games to come out on the GameCube. Nintendo decided to push back the GameCube release to give the Wii first access, much to the fans' dissatisfaction. Twilight Princess wasn't doing anything new with the Zelda formula, but what it was doing pretty well. The gameplay was everything you'd expect from a Zelda title. Fun puzzles, good combat, and an interesting story. The motion controls were admittedly a bit touchy, but it was overall a pretty good time. Another hugely anticipated game was Red Steel, but unlike Twilight Princess, it was, how do I put this? Red Steel sucked ass. Before it was released, everyone was clamoring over the idea of a Yakuza sword fighting game with a controller that actually let you feel what it was like to swing the sword in real time. I mean, I still want that. Unfortunately, the actual gameplay fell short of expectations. Very short. The Wii's motion controls were never really precise enough to match the swordplay, and the gun controls weren't any better. Oh, I forgot to mention, in Red Steel, you wield a sword and a gun, and also a broken sword, I guess. On top of the bad motion controls, the story and gameplay simply weren't all that interesting. Really, the only good thing to come out of this game was Jason Vanderberg's incredible cane that was revealed in the Red Steel 2 press cycles. Damn, that's still a good look. Jefferson, order Papa a cane. Stat. Admittedly, a good portion of the Wii's launch titles were movie tie-ins that were somehow more forgettable than the animated movies they were based on. Sorry to all the open season fans out there. For a family-focused console, perhaps this shouldn't come as a huge surprise. The Wii did offer a few fun but mostly unremarkable racing titles as well. For example, the GT Pro Series, a racing game with underwhelming gameplay and somehow even more underwhelming graphics. There was another racing game released at launch, Excite Truck. This was the middle entry in the Excite series, after Excite Bike and Excite Bike 64, but before Excite Bot and Excite World Rally. Unfortunately, the Excite game-thematic universe never really took off past the Excite era of the Wii. I guess there wasn't enough Excite-ment. One fun launch title was Trauma Center's Second Opinion. This DS port let me work as a trauma surgeon using the motion controls to stitch wounds and heal patients, work I continue to do today in my free time. If anyone needs a kidney removed, I'm your guy. Just don't call me if you want it put back. There was also Rayman Raving Rabbids, a mashup of the Rayman we know and love, and the Rabbids who, at the time of release, felt like fresh new characters. Since then, we've learned better and see them for what they really are, an affront to God. But finally, we get to talk about the greatest Wii launch title. Nay, the greatest Wii title. Nay, one of the greatest games ever made. Wii Sports. Wii Sports was specifically designed to show off the Wii's new motion controls. With sports like bowling, tennis, baseball, golf, and boxing, you got to experience the full range of the Wii's motion and nunchuck capabilities. All of the gameplay modes were simplistic enough for the motion controls to be fun and satisfying without bumping into some of the jank that comes with more ambitious gameplay. Once people got their hands on consoles, everyone and their mother was playing Wii Sports. Literally. Wii Sports became a big hit with the older generation, often touted as a low-impact way to get seniors moving. Wiis became staples in many retirement homes. And it caused a plethora of early viral videos of people breaking their TVs trying to become the next Serena Williams in Wii Tennis. In many ways, the Wii kicked off Nintendo's career-long push to make video games a part of an active, healthy lifestyle. This started with Wii Sports, evolving into the Wii Balance Board, and finally culminating in the excellent Ring-Con for Ring Fit Adventures. By far, one of the most impressive things about Wii Sports was that it was a pack-in. This game came free with all early consoles. Nintendo actually has a history of incredible pack-ins with console releases, starting with Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt being included with the NES, to Tetris being included with the original Game Boy. The Nintendo Switch, on the other hand, offered no pack-ins. Instead of giving us a game for free, they released 1-2 Switch, a $50 demo disc that is better left forgotten. But it seems Wii Sports isn't one they will let us forget. Nintendo recently announced Nintendo Switch Sports, a clear spiritual successor to Wii Sports. The game will offer familiar Nintendo sports games like bowling and fencing, while also offering new sports like volleyball and badminton, because that's really what gamers have been clamoring for. More badminton. But truly, the legacy of Wii Sports cannot be understated. Many people got a Wii to only play Wii Sports and maybe Zelda. Truly, the only thing that was better than Wii Sports on day one of the Wii was the Wii Shop music. But also, the Wii Shop music is better than the Wii itself. You know what? The Wii Shop music is better than God himself. Perhaps the Wii Shop music is God himself. Was the Nintendo Wii a perfect console? Of course not. The main draw of the Wii was the motion controls, which wound up being so imprecise that Nintendo had to release a new generation of controllers with better movement halfway through its life cycle. Many people expected the Wii to be a gimmick console, an underpowered motion control focused machine for kids, and in many ways, it lived up to that expectation. On launch, there were a plethora of licensed movie cash-ins and games like Red Steel that promised more complexity than they could actually deliver on this underpowered machine. But there were also incredible titles like Wii Sports and even the Mii Maker app that used their smartly designed simplicity to bring out the best in the console, and sometimes even the best in each other. The Wii was a console best spent with friends and family. In an era of each console trying to one-up the other with the most impressive graphics, the most high-tech controllers, and the fastest load times, sometimes it's just nice to have a console that you can play with your friends. The Wii isn't perfect, but neither of the consoles were so desperate to get today. I mean, have you seen the PlayStation 5? Well, probably not, considering how hard they are to buy. But take my word, the PS5 looks like the love child of Eve from WALL-E and the Disney Symphony Hall. Anyway, thanks for joining this old man on this trip down memory lane. Not all of us can get our hands on the latest next-gen consoles, but sometimes the anticipation of a new release cycle is just as fun.
What's interesting is that the Wii's unique control scheme prevented the launch from being full of titles identical to other consoles. even when a Wii game was also found on the PlayStation and Xbox side of things, the motion controls made it a completely different experience.
So if you get a little irritated every time you see that PS4 logo on your new PS5 game, put an F in the chat for Nintendo finding a way to be different.
Next, we're leaving the past behind for the open road. Gran Turismo 7 is here, we reviewed it, and no, we can't go play Forza instead. We're stuck with GT.
Come back after the break to see what we thought after we take it out for a test drive.
Are you ready for smarter conversation?
If I looked like you, if I was you, I'd be constantly working.
Elevate your media intake with Vibe Check.
I dare you to cut to commercial. I dare you.
Vibe Check. It's deep.
Do you love esports? Do you want to turn that passion into a real job? Well, now you can with Golden Boy's Ultimate Casting Collection, a compilation of everything I've learned about casting in one convenient 35 DVD box set. Let me go ahead and golden shower you with my casting knowledge, featuring classics such as yelling really loud, being nice to the lady who does your hair and makeup so she doesn't make you look like Amelie May. Get Golden Boy's Ultimate Casting Collection on 35 DVDs for just 6 easy payments of $49.99. But wait, use your credit card and we'll slash the price by $10. That's right, you get 35 DVDs for just 7 easy payments of $39.99. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call 1-800-465-3362 to order Golden Boy's Ultimate Casting Collection on 35 DVDs for just 7 easy payments of $39.99 plus shipping and handling when you use your credit card. Call now or order online at g4tv.com.
Welcome back to X-Play. After a quieter stretch of road in recent years, the battle for the best racing sim out there just got loud.
Forza Horizon 5 hit the track just a few months ago, and now Gran Turismo 7 is gunning for that top spot.
Does it have the horsepower to catch up? And just how many obnoxious driving puns can we make?
Find out the answer to both these questions in our review of Gran Turismo 7.
What do you think?
It's a car.
I thought you said you liked cars.
Yeah, I like cars. I don't like cars.
Well, what's wrong with it? You've been single for a while. I thought you could give the HRV a test shot here.
It's spacious, it's got great fuel economy, nice cup holders, really thick, girthy wheels.
Hey, Frosk, are you doing okay?
I mean, yeah, I'm really busy today, so are you interested in the car or not?
Oh my God, that's so crazy. Work is calling.
Wait, what? Work? Do I have a... I'm so sorry. Shh, it's okay. Do you want to hear me talk about cars? You'll like it, it's nice. Shh. I know. I know. Gran Turismo 7 is the latest entry in Polyphonic Digital's long-running racing franchise. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the series, with GT7 being the first mainline entry in nearly a decade. In the franchise's early days, it was widely considered to be the premier racing game. This game's dedication to providing a realistic driving experience was reflected not only in the precision handling of the cars, but also in the graphical presentation. The last decade has seen the franchise lose a bit of its luster though. The last mainline entry, 2013's Gran Turismo 6, was fine, but it didn't evoke the same level of excitement and enthusiasm as Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. The PS4's only exclusive entry, 2017 Gran Turismo Sport, wasn't bad, but somewhat underwhelming. The PvP focus was solid, and the online play was rewarding for diehards, but the lack of single-player content at launch and significantly reduced car and track lists made Sport feel very much like a filler entry. Over the last decade, we've seen multiple racing franchises come into their own, from the F1 games, the simulation-based iRacing, and of course, both Forza Motorsport and Horizon. There are a multitude of ways to get your racing fix. So does GT7 see the long-running series reclaim its crown as the top dog among racing games? In my opinion, no. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a lot to like about it. The Gran Turismo series has always had a reputation for being one of the prettiest racing games to look at, and that's no difference with GT7. Every car in this game is lovingly rendered to look as close to its real-life counterpart as possible. If hyper-real graphics are your thing, then you're going to be in with a treat for GT7. Now, while the game is clearly intended to be a showcase piece for the PS5, the game is no slouch on the PS4 Pro. While obviously it doesn't have ray tracing and all the next-gen textures, the game is still very pretty and performs well on the last generation of consoles. While Gran Turismo 7's list of 424 cars is less than what Gran Turismo 2 launched with, the focus was clearly on quality and not quantity. From rally cars to luxury cars, there are a wide variety of cars to choose from the 3 in-game shops. If you're in the mood to save some cash and get a decent car with some miles on it, hit up the used lot. If you've managed to kiss enough ass and work your way up towards the job as a secretary, then Brand Central is where you can buy the brand new Honda Civic of your middle-class dreams. If you've managed to truly thrive in the age of late capitalism, then there's a legendary market where you can spend millions on the finest luxury cars. While a multi-million-dollar car won't fill the aching empty void left by the singular pursuit of profit, at least you can look really cool driving it. Once you have your dream car, GT7 provides a multitude of ways to get your racing fix. Its primary campaign is driven through menus that you acquire in the cafe area? Yeah. This game has a cafe for cars. Just go with it. Each menu gives you a new objective, which generally goes between collecting a particular set of cars or completing a championship. These menus make growing your car collection quite easy. Beyond menus, there are quite a few ways to get your racing fix. There are 34 tracks overall in the game, with multiple ways to engage with them, from standard arcade races to time trials and circuit challenges. If you're looking for some objective-based challenge, then there's a series of missions you can complete that gradually increases in difficulty. License tests make a return, and completing them is essential towards progressing through certain championships. These tests do a great job of explaining the fundamentals of Gran Turismo's approach to racing. In fact, one of the game's biggest strengths is how welcoming it is to newcomers. It's clear Gran Turismo 7 is intended to be a reintroduction of the franchise. If you ever found Gran Turismo's brand of racing to be intimidating, GT7 provides multiple options to ease you into its unique approach of realism-based racing. From overt options like auto steering and auto braking, to the visual indicators of braking points and the racing line, Gran Turismo 7 is surprisingly welcome for all skill levels. If you're the type to live your life a quarter mile at a time, GT7 has you covered with its sport mode. While the online features unfortunately weren't live during the review period, they do seem promising. Sport mode is a built-in ranked tournament mode intended for only the most serious-minded players. In my opinion, this could truly be where Gran Turismo shines and makes its mark on the current racing landscape. If that sounds too intense for you, don't worry. There's a standard multiplayer mode for those looking for a more casual racing experience. Beyond racing, Gran Turismo provides extensive customization options. If you have a specific design in mind for a car, chances are that you can make it. There's a wide variety of colors and textures for you to choose from, as well as decals and accessories. For those into tuning your cars, GT7 has you covered. The tuning shop allows you to buy upgraded parts for your car, with every car having a tuning sheet that you can tinker with until your heart's content. Content-wise, Gran Turismo 7 is a robust, fully formed package. The wide variety of cars and tracks provide a multitude of different racing styles, which is only going to increase with updates and DLC drops. There's a solid foundation here, which makes it so disappointing that the game's structure feels so dated. But before we get into that, we first need to give out this week's SteelSeries Moment of Glory.
Shout out to Gran Turismo creator Kazunori Yamauchi for not only creating one of the most iconic racing series in existence, but for being an all-around badass. This is why you deserve the SteelSeries Moment of Glory. After 7 sequels, it's safe to say that Kaz achieved the goal of creating one of the most popular racing simulators of all time. But did you know that Kaz's pull in the racing industry is so substantial that he was hired by Nissan to help develop one of their cars? That's like hiring Minecraft devs to actually mine and craft, or I don't know, hiring the From Software devs to torch you in real life. And not to mention Kaz actually races in real races. I'm talking IRL. This team once won their division in the 24 Hours of Nürburgring race. Who said video games never prepared you for anything? And this is essentially just the stuff that's on the Wikipedia page. Can you imagine what else this man's gotten into? Kaz should be the next James Bond, Superman, and Batman. For that, he deserves the SteelSeries Moment of Glory.
Gran Turismo comes from the early 2000s school of racing games. So many of the game's early hours are spent navigating menus, reading text, and learning the history of motorsport. And I'm not gonna lie, folks, I straight up did not enjoy my time with Gran Turismo 7 early on. In its attempts to be welcoming for newcomers, the game winds up being kind of a bore, and when you first start it, the AI is really easy, and the car selections aren't that exciting at first. One of the funniest aspects of the early game is that it presents a world where people will fill stands to watch a bunch of randoms race around in a Ford Focus. The game is very much a slow burn in its early hours. It really isn't up until you get to the 20th menu that things really start to pick up, and you start racing cars that are actually worth a damn.
So much of a racing franchise is about driving gameplay that feels just right to a player's preferences. There's a lot to like in Gran Turismo, and we're not quite ready to put it back in the garage just yet.
I knew we had a few more car puns in the tank, but it's time to shift gears.
Get ready to visit the winner's circle after the break with the second part of our review, and a look at the man most responsible for the Gran Turismo franchise.
Attack is back, and the critics are raving. Good enough. I've seen worse. Reverse hair loss now with one simple trick. Click here. Catch the show the critics literally won't start talking about. Attack of the Show.
NBC Mondays. American Song Contest is all new. Totally live. Totally unexpected. You never know who will step up to represent your state.
Tune in. It's going to be awesome. You're welcome.
American Song Contest. New Mondays, 8, 7 Central on NBC.
First thing I'm going to get you to do, sort the negative attitude out. You're a strong man, okay? You're strong. Turn the frown upside down.
Rowan, we're gonna die! We're gonna die, Rowan!
Good luck, adventurer!
Hey y'all! Hey y'all! Hey y'all! Hey y'all, Scott here, quick. What's the first thing you think of when you think mysterious?
I died. I was supposed to get robbed tomorrow!
No manners, no subtlety. Alright, I'll go inside just this once to try this thing out. After that, never again.
I hate change. I've had the same feet for years, thank you.
I interrupt your regularly scheduled me with an emergency report by me.
Take it, you son of a bitch.
Our story began in Waterdeep, the city of splendors, with a group of scoundrels.
You'll be completely safe with me.
I really do love you, but that was absolutely disgusting.
A spider the size of a horse.
I shouldn't have picked these bowls.
In battle with a black dragon wormlet.
You guys are happy.
Welcome back to X-Play. We're heading to the final lap of our review of Gran Turismo 7.
And if you've got an extra 20 bucks you're willing to fork over, we'll throw in an exotic car and tell you to score without you having to grind through the rest of this video.
Hop in, we're headed to the end of the road. Are you okay, Hokage?
I think these car puns are making me sick.
Just look through the windshield and crack the window, you'll be fine.
While playing GT7, I kept going back to the same question. What does this game do better than the competition? And in my time spent with the game, I couldn't really find an answer. Sure, it's probably the most visually stunning racing game out there, but racing games are about driving cars, not just looking at them. The handling does feel great in GT7, but I never felt an overwhelming sense of speed in the game. In its effort to provide a more elegant racing experience, it sacrifices the sheer thrill of pushing your car to its limits. Even when going over 100 miles per hour, the game feels pleasant when it should be an adrenaline-surging, pulse-pounding experience. One of the more interesting new additions to Gran Turismo is its music rally mode, which is cool in theory, but to put it bluntly, GT7's soundtrack is mid. There are over 300 songs and very few of them actually bang. The abundance of lounge and smooth jazz further add to the early 2000s feel of the game. While the graphical presentation is second to none, the UI and menus all feel exceptionally dated. Every time a character talks to you, it feels like you're speaking to a customer service rep. I was always expecting a conversation to end with the on-screen avatar asking me to fill out an online survey to let the game know how they did. The leaderboards and menus all feel very old school, presenting information in the simplest way possible with very little flasher style. Now I have to talk about how much Gran Turismo 7 likes cars. The game really likes cars, a lot, like to an almost alarming degree. The cafe, the cafe is where you spend a lot of your time, and it's here where Gran Turismo's obsession with cars comes into full view. I can only describe this area as a dating sim for cars. Every time you unlock a car or complete a menu, the game goes into painstaking detail about how the car was made and all of its positive qualities. There are even randos who will show up to tell you how hot your new car is. GT7 rides into the line between celebrating cars and fetishizing them, and your mileage will vary on this approach. Personally, I wasn't a fan, as it took away from the only thing that I wanted to do, drive incredibly fast. Additionally, for a game so focused on realism, the lack of realistic car damage kind of breaks the immersion. Sparks fly and metal flies off your car when you scrape into a wall, but there's no lasting visible damage on your car when it happens. Going headfirst into a wall at 100 miles per hour with no real consequences really breaks the immersion of the self-proclaimed real driving simulator. All in all, Gran Turismo 7 isn't a bad game, it's just one that I found to be somewhat underwhelming. It's gorgeous to look at and the core gameplay is fundamentally sound, but it doesn't do much to innovate or push the franchise formula forward, which is kind of disappointing when you look at how much the genre has evolved in the 9 years since Gran Turismo 6. If you're really into car history, take competitive racing very seriously, or just want something to show off the graphical power of the PS5, Gran Turismo 7 could be what you're looking for. For everyone else, you might be better off getting your racing fix somewhere else. And that's why we're giving Gran Turismo 7 a 3 out of 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The definitive answer to the best racing sim on the market is iRacing.
The racing genre is a competitive field, just like gaming content on the internet. If you want more X-Play, come check out our YouTube channel, where we're uploading new content all the time.
And you can find us live every week on the G4 TV Twitch channel. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.